Hazel, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Ashley?
I'm not too bad. Obviously, I've just spoke to Kate, who's saying that it's a day off today, and she was looking forward to celebrating St. Patrick's Day. You got any plans?
I have plans when the interviews stop. I'm going to go out for dinner with my family. We're visiting family down in the south of Ireland at the moment, so.
Well, enjoy that. So, first of all, tremendous performance. I thought you did an amazing job with the character of Char. Highly relatable, and as I was saying to Kate, we were agreeing that the film as a whole did a great job of seeing things from your POV. Couple of things about the actual shoot itself. I know that it was in the second sort of wave of lockdown in Ireland when you were shooting. So I was curious to know what the sort of on-set atmosphere was like, and how everybody sort of adapted. And in terms of your performance, were you adhering very closely to the script, or was Kate sort of allowing you room for improvisation as well?
Kate was very clear the whole time to she let us know she wasn't precious about the words. It was more the sentiment and the map of the scene that she wanted to execute. So we definitely had room to play around there, and which was really nice because there was that natural chemistry kind of came into it a bit more. These scenes with Jordan, who plays Suzanne, where we were able to bounce off each other a little bit, and we that made those scenes like pretty special because myself and Jordan have a natural chemistry, and have kind of crossed paths a few times over from when we were both probably 14, I'd say, until now. So yeah, there was that looseness, and we definitely adhered to the scenes themselves, but there was a bit of play in there.
And how did you and all of the crew cope with the sort of COVID restrictions? I'm assuming it was still a happy environment.
It was, absolutely. I don't think I've ever been closer with a crew before, which is funny because everybody's masks were on and you couldn't see half their faces. So you'd assume that you wouldn't be as close with somebody who you can only see restricted facial expressions of. But no, it was amazing. I got really close with a lot of crew members, and we still chat and keep in contact. And there's people who are leaving the country now that I'm really sad to see go, that were on the crew. There's a lot of people we got to see at the premiere in Dublin Film Festival a couple of weeks ago, and it was just a big reunion. It was so good. So we were filming through very strict level 5 lockdown, but because the film industry was considered essential work, we were able to keep going. And I think we kind of recognized the privilege that was. So everybody was just in top form the whole time. It nearly lent itself to the experience. Yeah.
Well, I'm certainly glad that we weren't kept waiting for the
nice.
film. It's an absolute cracker.
Thank you.
What was it that convinced you to take the part of Char in the first place? Was it an opportunity to sort of get into the horror genre? Are you a fan, or was it more of a case of a much more deeper connection with the script rather than the genre itself?
It was, well, there's no convincing needed, that's for sure. I was obsessed with the script when I first laid eyes on it. It came into my inbox when I was filming another series in Clare, a county in Ireland that's kind of all the scenery and everything. There's different colours. There's a different texture to the place down there, and I was reading it in a house alone with a dog and a fire, and I had my speaker connected up to It Follows soundtrack and the Witch soundtrack and Annihilation soundtrack. And I was reading this script and I was like, I have to be in this script. I don't care who I am. Well, there's only 2 characters my age, but I don't care which of them I am. I need to be in this film. It was the way that Kate navigated the script and made it into a sort of drama horror fusion, which I absolutely love. I'm a massive fan of Ari Aster, and he does that a lot in his films, and I've wanted to be in one of his films for a long time. So when I saw Kate's script and how well she fused those two, it was a no-brainer for me.
Mom? I heard about your mom. Is she all right?
Hey.
Doesn't feel right.
I think we should go away. Just the 2 of us.
I think you should take it easy at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that really connected with me on a personal level was that sort of family dynamic and the focus on that. Because although it's essentially a horror film, like the first hour almost plays out like a family drama.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful art to be able to achieve, to get you to genuinely care about these people and what happens to them in the day to day, outside of that kind of supernatural element. So by the sound of it, you're clearly not easy to scare then if you're reading the script, listening to It Follows on the soundtrack at night on your own. So
I was very desensitized to horror at the time. I'd watched a lot of it when I was younger. So you need to make the experience as eerie as possible in order to love it or to its full potential. Yeah. Cool,
man. Cool. Were you particularly au fait with the sort of Irish folktales that Kate's obviously drawn inspiration from? They sound pretty sort of grim. Some of them. Was that something that your parents or grandparents were telling you as a child growing up?
I had fairly Christian parents. Well, I have fairly Christian parents. They grew up Christian, so like they never really had any of those folktales told to them. And we go to church once, or we used to go to church once every year probably. So like we weren't tied to the Christian denomination, but it was like just Celtic things weren't really explored in our family. So when I was a teenager, how did it start? I think I just saw a couple of videos on YouTube, and actually some of my history goes back a little bit. Like in my family, my sister found out through my dad that my auntie was considered like the town kind of like recluse or witch. Sorry, not my auntie, my like great auntie. And she was always much more familiar with animals than with people. So that was really cool. And then that kind of sparked off me learning about the more pagan and Celtic blood that we've got running through us as Irish people. I was reading books, and I was actually sent a book by Kate, totally unbeknownst to me that it was from Kate. I don't think we'd even spoken. No, I think we'd had a Zoom at this point, but I didn't give her my address or anything, so she obviously got it from my agent. And a book called A Deed Without a Name by Lee Morgan arrives on my doorstep, and it's like a witchy, satanic, occult book. And I'm like, where did this come from? It was the most bizarre thing. So that book came in, and I was reading it. I was reading it in the local church grounds. Kind of was again trying to make it as eerie, let it live up to its eerie potential. And I was a little bit worried that the ground was going to swallow me up while I was reading this book about like the other realm and the other side of different dimensions. So that was pretty cool. But I was very interested in like folk and fairy tales from about the age of 16, I'd say. Yeah,
so that's nice. It's nice that you found them. And growing up, I mean, like a lot of kids, I was told sort of grim fairy tales and stuff, and as you've got older, I like probably a lot of people have re-explored them, and you sort of take a step back and go, my God, this is really disturbing stuff.
Yeah. yeah. Yeah, and I think Kate watched a lot of horrors when she was a teenager as well, and that's possibly why she's so good at what she does. It's being desensitized enough that you can like appreciate it, that it is like still not being like, oh yeah, this is great that these people are being killed all the time in all these films, but to appreciate it for like what it is on a base level, not be too terrified of it, to tell it in a very like well-informed way, and from a kind of critical perspective, and an objective perspective, which you can't really do when you're afraid of it. So maybe the fact that we were told these scary stories when we were kids actually makes us better storytellers now.
That's a good point. That's a good point. On a slightly less serious note, if you were a changeling, who would you wish to take over, and why?
Ooh, who? Like what person? What human would I wish to take over?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. Whose life would I like to have? Can it be in the past, or does it have to be now?
It could be anyone you like.
Do you know what? I'd probably like to take over the life of a cat, if that was possible. They just look like they're having the best time ever. They're just strolling around the place, doing what they want to do when they want to do it. I don't know if that's like if changing a cat is possible. But yeah, maybe a cat. I can't think of anybody that I'd like to, let run off to the fairy dimension and get eaten by the fairies. I don't think that's good to want that for anybody. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a cat is a good choice because they've got 9 lives. So yeah,
true. Yeah,
you're milking the most of that premise. So well done. So we are at time. Hazel Doupe, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck with the film, and well done for the IFTA award as well. Well earned.
Thank you. It was the nomination. I didn't get the award, but thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks for
enjoy the rest of your day. No trouble.
Thank you. See ya.
Hey, where's your mom?